All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and absolute pleasure to be here today. We heard a lot of talks since morning, right? And everybody talking about infrastructure, highways, corridors, a lot of work happening, and honestly, I think this is the time when it is infusing a lot of fresh energy in all of us, right? So as part of the government, any which ways, is a charter that they're going to work on, but as an industry, I think it's going to be enabling us with a lot of fresh energy in terms of how do we work and collaborate and be part of this whole new initiative. 5 years from now, and target is 1 trillion economy. Not an easy task. All right, so all of us know that almost every sector today is accelerated by technology. Technology adoption is no more a choice. It's no more an option. It's a mandate. You pick up any sector. You pick up agriculture, whether it is seed traceability, post-harvest, pre-harvest, the right pricing, increase in the yield. You talk of healthcare, right? We all witnessed a different healthcare way of working post-COVID and then saw how pre-COVID deficiencies were there. You look at education. You look at land records. We heard about the industrial corridor, the new demarcation of lands, digitization of addresses. We heard about a lot of new areas about the way things are going to be done. Now, I just have a very small presentation which will take you through in terms of what the 5 key areas that is going to be very, very important for us to get into if we have to really make this wish list or this goal of 1 trillion economy a reality by 27. But before we do that, I think we all know that every state has a bunch of different departments working together cohesively, right? And all these departments have seen a good amount of technology being adopted. Digitization happened in the last couple of years. The only good thing about COVID, and I'm repeating, the only good thing about COVID is that it allowed us, it exposed us to how technology can change our lives for good, across the sector. Across the sector, we still remember the classes going on online. We still remember the doctors giving telemedicine through online consultations. We remember a whole lot of work happening by leveraging digitization across the board. And this is going to be the crucial area if we have to ensure that the state of UP transforms across, because every single department has to contribute, right? 5 areas, like I said, are going to be crucial. The first one is digital identity. Now, all of us understand today that we are called by our names, but our identity today is our mobile number. Our identity today is our Aadhaar number. Think about any area today, what you get asked apart from your name is, what's your mobile number and what's your Aadhaar number, right? But despite that, when we look at any of the schemes, any of the departments that we work with today, be it in agriculture, be it asking for a new SIM phone, or asking for any of the work to be done in any of the departments, we still have to submit every single document again and again. Irrespective of having all our data, all our certificates, all our documents in DigiLocker, why should we replicate all these efforts every time with every department? And unless we break this silo, unless we democratize data to an extent where it gets leveraged across the departments, we will not be able to succeed. And this could be one of the humongous areas that we need to look into. Farmers today get, DBT schemes under which they get paid. The same farmer, when it goes to a different department for any other work, has to again give the documents for something else. Why should that be the area today? Right? And as part of that, when you look at the multiple departments within the state, be it the finance, be it land records, be it healthcare, everywhere the data is operating in silos. So the biggest area, the biggest action plan today for every state, although is there, but specifically for UP has to be to see how do we integrate and create a single source of truth for all the departments across the board. This is going to be extremely critical. The second one, leveraging emerging technologies. We saw a session just before this one based on AI/ML. I'm glad to let you know that today, almost 40% of digital initiatives that happen across governments are based on AI/MLs. Whether it is the pension-related schemes, where we need to check that the online photograph that has been provided is of a real person, or is photograph of a photograph, there are AI/ML algorithms that run to ensure that the fraudulent cases are detected, right? Likewise, when there are DBT schemes provided or any other schemes provided to people or the citizens of the state, there are a lot of these services that are being leveraged. So it is no running away from leveraging AI/ML in many other areas as we move forward. As I mentioned earlier, there's huge amount of data that every department has. I think the time has come. There needs to be a data lake that needs to be created across all the departments put together, so that the true leveraging of all the services, whether it is blockchain, whether it is AI/ML, whether it is any service that you want to render, can be done across the board. We used to call earlier, the bird's view, which was the drone-based technology which was able to leverage a lot of the landscape of the land. And today we have the satellite image that is being utilized, which we call as the God's view now. How is this going to be important for ensuring the farmer or the crops that are before any calamity that happens, like floods, for example, and how are those farms after the floods are there, can be easily verified by leveraging the satellite imagery, which enhances the clearances of farmer insurance by days compared to months, which was happening earlier. So technologies like these can help across the board to improve the farmer yield, and also, if we have to relate to see how does it impact the economy, there's a lot of product yield today that gets exported. How do we ensure the quality of that product is of the global standard? How do we ensure the quantity of the yield every year from those crops is better and improved? Is where the emerging technologies will play a big role. The third part, e-governance efficiency. It has also seen a massive shift in the last few years from having a just two-way conversation to a real enablement of the discussions, a conversations between the masses and the government is again going to be crucial. Someone in the panel earlier said that how do we know that we are doing the right things? There could be areas of improvement. How do you ensure that you get constant feedback, constant engagement from the people who are consumers of the services? And be quick enough to incorporate them as part of the changes. Optimizing digital resources is going to be again crucial. We know we are a land of multiple languages, cultures, diverse demographics, and so on and so forth. How do we create an omni-channel approach to be able to reach out to masses and listen to them in their flavor, whether it is on the voice-based messaging or a chat-based messaging, leveraging bots, and so on and so forth. The last one, how do you derive the technology to an extent where cloud becomes a reality and gets leveraged? So for some of you who may not be aware, we did one of the largest project on this earth. Government of India. Am I audible? We did one of the largest project on this earth with Government of India during the times when pandemic started. And all of you would be aware that we had something called as COVID, right? Remember COVID? Yeah? And that was a time when everybody was struggling to find out how do you create a mechanism of vaccination for a population of this country, of the scale. What kind of an infrastructure would you require? What kind of a scale would you need if you have to go from one state to other state, one district to other district, one taluka to other taluka, right? And that is when the CoWIN platform emerged. And I'm glad to inform you this is the platform, the biggest of the big in the world today, which is now being sought after by many countries across the world. This platform was not built in years. This platform was not built in months. This platform was built in just few days. You would remember that when we started this platform, it initially introduced only the personnel who were in the category of doctors and nurses and so on and so forth. And then we started moving it to the people who were 60 years above, and then 45 years above, and so on and so forth. Now, during that time, when it started, it had almost like few thousand hits per day. Obviously, lesser people started using COVID. And then from 1,000 users per day, 1,000 hits per day, it moved to lakhs of hits per day. There was a time when it moved to 1.2 billion hits per day. On the auspicious occasion of the birthday of our Honorable Sri Narendra Modi ji, we touched 1.2 billion hits on that single day. Can you imagine? What does that 1.2 billion hits per day mean? It means almost 50,000 transactions per every second. And what that did was, it pushed the entire system to operate at a level where 1.2 billion concurrent hits, still the platform worked, there was no zero downtime. You were able to locate your nearest hospital where the vaccination could be done. We also enabled Map My India to ensure that you get the right kind of mapping if needed. PIN code-based search was enabled, right? The vaccination, timelines were decided and it was accurately registered. Aadhaar authentication was enabled, right? And the best of all, you could download the certificate there and then. There is no such platform in the world that exists today to manage the population of this size with so many functionalities, so many services, and so many programs getting integrated. Why I'm talking about this today here is because when we are looking at the state of UP moving from the current GDP to 4x growth, leading to a 1 trillion economy, we will need platforms like these. Because today, when the COVID requirement is reduced, the platform has also scaled down. So how the economics work is that there is no initial infrastructure that is required to be invested for. Imagine if we had to buy servers and storage and network and security and the data centers, how many of that would have been needed? Can you think about it? And how much time? And how much money, capital investment? And even then, we would have still not been sure whether it's going to be working or not. And the downtimes and so on and so forth. So with this, no capital investment upfront, it scaled as the requirement went up, it scaled down as the requirement went down. Even tomorrow, if there's again a scale spike, it will be able to manage that requirement. So something of this would be needed for sure if the economy has to scale to that extent. And just to let you know, the entire platform did not have any third-party product. No third-party product, no licenses to be paid for, no infra to be bought, no perpetual licenses to be invested on, nothing. This is all built on native AWS stack. And likewise, imagine if those crores of rupees could save the central government while building this application. The similar scenario for a state government can also save crores of rupees that can be productively used for areas of development on the betterment for the human lives. So I hope I'm able to put forward a scenario here which we can resonate with and which is going to be very crucial as we embark on this journey of $1 trillion economy by 27. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Any questions, queries, inputs, or a conversation that needs to happen, my email ID is there. My colleagues are here. Please feel absolutely free to reach out to us. We work very closely with almost most of the central government departments. Out of 12 national platforms, almost 6 national platforms are on AWS. In the interest of confidentiality and the reference clauses, I can't share the names. I could share the Coven one because it has already been approved. There are almost multiple, such similar applications of this scale that we do with most of the states, including Maharashtra, Telangana, AP, Gujarat, and so on and so forth. We work with UP as well across multiple, departments also. But if there are any further ideas which we could partner with to make this collaborate a lot more better, because this journey will need a lot of collaboration. This won't happen without collaboration. So we're absolutely open. And thank you once again. All the best. Thank you.